Do you ever think about the future? Most people do, and I certainly do. We hope the future will be good for us, although we cannot really control it. But there are a number of people who try to do things that will create a prosperous future for them as they get older. However, when it comes to seeing things clearly that are far away from us, unfortunately, many people are nearsighted. The clinical word for being nearsighted is known as myopia. Myopia is a refractive error that makes faraway objects look blurry. It happens when the shape of the eye makes light focus in front of the retina, which is a light-sensitive layer of tissue in the back of your eye. Therefore, you can more easily see things that are close to you, but not far away. So, are you myopic, otherwise known as being nearsighted or short-sighted? People might think they have good eyesight, even with glasses on. But many people still cannot clearly see what is coming their way in the distance, such as their permanent future in eternity. Are you like that? Are you nearsighted, otherwise known as being short-sighted? I think a lot of people are nearsighted when it comes to their future, their eternal future. For these short-sighted people, their vision is blurry when it comes to their forever. Many people just want to focus on the now, and that is understandable because we only get one relatively short human life. With this reality in mind, a lot of us don't want to see what is coming next after this life is over. Most human beings are nearsighted in their day-to-day living. Their lives are made up of the now, and their eternal future seems far away and is just out there somewhere, blurry in the distance. I believe it can be satisfying to be in the now, and we should enjoy it while we can. We have things that make us immediately happy, such as our wives, our husbands, our children, our grandchildren, our parents, our grandparents, our jobs, our hobbies, our travels, our activities, our money, and so on. Some people focus on the now because they think it will help their future, such as getting married, getting involved in politics, supporting their favorite causes, or trying to help people. Or maybe instead they just sit around all day and watch TV and/or play video games, or spend all day on listening to and watching social media, and waste the short amount of now they have remaining in this life on those things. Some people are on social media all day and are looking for the latest news, listening to influencers or comments on things, and they fill their head with more of the unimportant part of the now. I think many of us tend to do that sometimes, but if that's all you do, then it's very sad for you. Such a waste of life. Perhaps a person's life is not happy and is filled with grief, with sadness, with anger, with uncertainty, with suffering, with loneliness, with no hope. Happiness comes and goes depending on the latest circumstances. But what about the future? I am talking about our eternal future, after we die. Do you ever think about that? We will all have an eternal future somewhere. Unless we encounter death earlier in our lives through sickness or an accident, we will all eventually die a natural death someday. No matter how long we live here on this earth, death is coming. Many people have had that experience already with the death of a loved one, friend, or neighbor. It can be a very sad time with much grief. Do you care, or do you ever think about it for yourself? Can you clearly see what will become of you after you pass away from this world? Would you prefer eternal happiness, full of colors and light beyond this world when you die, instead of a pit of darkness in the ground? I know I would. Even the most famous people, such as Paul Newman, who was a world-famous Hollywood star and celebrity many years ago, and once had it all, even he had to die. And then what did he have? In most cases, the answer is, those famous wealthy people like Paul Newman have nothing from this world now, and it's all gone for him. The same will happen to us with this mortal life, unless we have the one eternal truth of how to receive more colors, light, and beauty in eternity after we die. Paul Newman was born in 1925 and died in 2008 at the age of 83 years old. He was cremated when he died, and all that is left of him is ashes and dust in a container, maybe like the cremation box of ashes above. No grave, just ashes in a container, humanly speaking. Over time, the memory of Paul Newman will be gone forever, like he was never here. A sad ending. Let's face it, there are few people, especially older people, who want to focus on their impending eternal future. They want to focus on the now because there is not much remaining of it for older people. Enjoy life while you can. I am like that too, and I want to spend as much quality time with the people who I care about, and I don't really want to see and think about this life coming to an end, especially if I am healthy and having a good life. How about Paul Newman, who I just mentioned? He had his movie stardom, was a world-famous celebrity, and he was famous for other things like personally racing fast cars and giving away money to needy people and organizations. He was even famous for his own brand of salad dressing, popcorn, and other food products called Newman's Own. That salad dressing brand, popcorn, and other Paul Newman food products are still popular after all these years since Paul died. Even younger people know that brand of specialty food products, but they may not necessarily know about Paul Newman and who he was. For most younger people, Paul Newman is just a name on bottles and boxes of salad dressing, popcorn, and other items at a grocery store, and nothing more. How would you like your legacy to be known as a bottle of salad dressing or a box of popcorn? But Paul is dead, never to enjoy his adoring public again, forever. Paul belongs to eternity now and is gone forever. Time ate him up. He is not a living celebrity anymore. He is nothing, dissolved into dust, and time will forget him. For a lot of people, he has already been forgotten, like he was never here. All that is remaining of Paul that we can see is a Hollywood star on a sidewalk in Hollywood. Now people just step on what is remaining of his name as they are walking down that sidewalk. Would you like to have been Paul with all his fame and fortune? If you do, then you would be dead and gone now. What a way to leave this world. Known only for your name being on bottles of salad dressing and other food products, and you can't even enjoy that popularity because you are deceased and buried in the ground or turned to ashes. Do you think Paul Newman would trade in all that fame and money to be alive again? Absolutely. That is, unless he had assurance of an eternity of actually being somewhere better than this world instead of having been turned to ashes. That may be hard to imagine for a lot of people, being somewhere better and more beautiful than here. However, what if it were actually true, but you needed to do something about it now to get it before you left this world? In other words, it's like going on an airline flight, but to get to your destination, you need to have a special boarding pass, or you could not get on that flight. That's what eternity will be like. This is the way life in eternity will work for you. If you do not pay attention now to what's coming when you die, and you just expect to get to somewhere good when this is all over, then you are sadly mistaken. Taking your chances will end in failure. Maybe you think that you'll just disappear and turn to dust and won't remember anything. But how do you really know that? Are you certain of what will come your way concerning your eternal future? Do you ever think about that? A lot of people don't seem to care about what happens to them when this life is over. But deep down inside, they do care and are likely frightened of what comes next, and they don't want to die. They don't want to think about being buried in a dark pit forever, and they don't want to wind up on the wrong side of the eternal question of what comes next. This life may be good for you now, or maybe it's not good for you now. But either way, we all face the same mortal outcome. All our earthly activities will cease when we die, and then we'll all be completely equal at that point. There will be no more differences among any of us on this earth once we are gone from this life, humanly speaking. The only small visual difference is what is on top of our grave that will separate one deceased person from another, or the design of the urn our ashes reside in. No matter what we had in our life, such as money, fame, talent, prestige, or we were beautiful people, we'll all be totally 100% the same with everyone else who has died when our life is all over. Our bodies will be dead and our flesh will decay unless we are already burnt to ashes. This is obviously not a happy subject, but it is completely true. Please watch part 2 of our video series, Are You Nearsighted?